first discovered Clive when I had extremely uncontrollable anxiety to the point where I couldn't even leave home or even socialise with friends, which is something I enjoy doing. But it's just built up over so many years of different use of medications and different everything that I just couldn't escape it. And when I made the choice that I wanted to, not have to take anything and be able to think for myself and solve my problems on my own, I started looking into hypnotherapy. So I looked at all the local hypnotherapists and I saw Clive, and I was like, he had the most reviews, but then I saw a few others and I thought, I'll try a few out. Anyway, I tried 2 different ones out and just had no luck. It felt good while I was talking to him, and during an appointment, it felt good. But then as soon as I'd leave, everything would go back to normal. Then I thought I'd give Clive a go, and man, after the first session of seeing him was just crazy. Every bit of body tension and was gone, and my mind had slowed down after the first session to about 50% of how I used to think so compulsively, and when I walked out, I just thought it was too good to be true. It's got to be, he's gotten into my head and just temporarily switched something off, and that wasn't the case. I came back a couple more times and never looked back. Coming in here, I got to sit down and talk with the guy and actually get to know him, which was completely different from the rest. He was actually interested in my life, and made me feel comfortable. As I'm pretty open with talking about my problems and stuff, but coming here was different. It was just like he wanted to be a friend, not just cared about money. And you're talking with him for the first 45 minutes of the session, and then for the rest, he puts you under and takes down whatever walls that you have in your brain blocking you off from being able to be happy, I guess, and calm. And he did that, and I'm at the point now where I don't have to see Clive anymore, because through seeing him I've learned how to deal with my own problems and how to breathe instead of coiling everything up in my head. So I highly recommend for anyone. He'd be the one to choose in the city, because he's the one that he covers the biggest range of things. You go home feeling good, and you feel good until the next time you see him, until you don't have to anymore. So yeah, I recommend Clive highly.